The month of May is Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders AAPI Heritage Month. In celebration of this historical month, Mainline Chinese Culture Center, MLCCC, proudly presents a special seminar named Stand Up and Speak Up on May 8, 2022, to educate our youth about the fight against AAPI hate and to also teach them practical methods to de-escalate and become an active bystander. Activist Mr. Bryant Wong and high school student Christina Lu stood up against Asian hate on SEPTA, spoke to a room full of primary young people in our community. Nonprofit organizations Stop AAPI Hate's national report indicates 10,905 reports of hate incidents against AAPI across the U.S. between March 19, 2022 and December 30, 2021. Asian American accounts for 5.7% of the national population and are considered the model minority. But Asian Americans continue to be stereotyped, scapegoated, and discriminated against. Hate incidents have been steadily rising over the last 3 years against Asian Americans who are now fighting two viruses simultaneously: COVID and racial hatred. Mainline Chinese Culture Center has joined Asian American organizations mobilized across the U.S. to stand against and speak up against hatred and injustice towards AAPI communities. Our students and parents have shown their solidarity by participating in many Stop AAPI Hate rallies in Philadelphia, including the May 2, 2021 Tri-State Stop Asian Hate Rally and the November 30, 2021 rally against SEPTA negligence and racial attacks on SEPTA trains.
So I'm writing this to tell you to respect all genders, all skin colors, all body types, and all ethnicities. Everyone is equal.
Remember, injustice to one ethnic group is an injustice to all Americans.
In November of 2021, Christina saw a 14-year-old Asian American being harassed on the SEPTA train on his way home from school, and when she tried to intervene, she was physically assaulted by the group of attackers. But following overwhelming support after this incident, Christina spoke at an anti-hate rally in Philadelphia.
Soon after, Christina created an organization called the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States.
The November 17th attack is a time that I never forget. It was a time where I realized the whole Asian community stood up together to speak up against hate crimes. I hold the word survivor dear to me because many incidents similar to mine go unreported, and I wanted to be a voice for them, to show that I am stronger and will continuously advocate for human rights. I urge you all and everyone across the globe to realize that for there to be change, everyone, and I mean everyone, must stand up together to protect our rights. Please don't forget your culture because of bullying or you don't want to be different. The history your ancestors have created is something to be proud of. Use it as your driving force to overcome challenges in your life. I created this branch in the rise of violence and around the world, including my own, to fight for a better future.
So today, I really want to talk to you about what it means to stand up. We have a lot of people looking on social media, you've seen it, just record things, am I right? And do nothing about it. The examples is listening to your earbuds while somebody is getting assaulted. You see that happen a lot in Philadelphia. I've seen that on the news. Or recording the assault and doing nothing about it. And we see that at schools. Know what to do, educate yourself on what to do. This right here is a workshop where you get to know what you're going to do. This is important, about knowing what to do, about educating yourself about how can I help? How can I be a part of the solution, not the problem? A lot of us in Chinatown said enough is enough, that we want an Asian American history curriculum built in the city of Philadelphia. That's what we did this year too. So not only we got AAPI month, we got Asian history, and for the first time we got Lunar New Year as a holiday. It took a long time to fight, but we never gave up.
And I would address this issue, and I would bring this up, and I would tell them this happened on your campus, so you have to take responsibility.
This is a community effort, so that everybody need to work together and believe it.
Tell us about how you are engaging the mainstream media to stop racial discrimination.
Oh, that's a good question. Mainstream media, with the news, we like to educate the news people to talk about the Asian story. Right now, WHYY has been presenting about the story of the Asian Pacific AAPI, and we need to hear our story, get our story across. There's a lot of things that the news media have leave out, just because we don't have a lot of representatives in the journalists representing the Asian community. So we have journalists who stand up and fight with their bosses to say, let's go hear the AAPI story. So I commended journalists who stand up. Also commend all those who work hard into getting our story across, because we have a story. We're not just invisible. We have a story, and we need our mainstream media to listen to our story.
What are some of the ways you encourage the Asian youth to step up and speak up?
One way of the Asian youth to stand up and step up is to become an active bystander. That's a simple way of doing it. If you see something, say something. Don't allow it to happen. Stand up when you see, when you think it's safe to stand up against the bullying. Stand up against, common things that people do, and educate. Educate yourself as well as educate others. That's showing what are the similarities of AAPI and others, and how we could come together and working in solidarity.
Do you have any messages that you want to tell the media regarding the racial hatred towards Asian Americans?
The one thing I want to tell the media is to stop with the microaggression, stop with the stereotyping about Asian people, and tell the real story of our history, tell the real story of what is really going on, instead of making it up and trying to make assumptions about us.
Tell us more about the Philadelphia branch of the Alliance of Youth Leaders.
The Alliance of Youth Leaders of Philadelphia, U.S. is a small branch currently, but I'm hoping to branch it out to other students. But it's basically where students are able to pursue their volunteerism. It's where students realize that there are systems in Philadelphia that needs to change. And we're just hoping that the students, while their time in the Youth Leaders area, is to gather information to educate themselves, and also to better themselves, to understand that people are different, and that you should put yourself in their shoes.
Earlier, you discussed your personal connection to the word survivor. Do you also consider yourself a hero?
In this situation, no, I still do not consider myself a hero. A hero is something that seems really unrealistic to me, because in my situation, I was there at a time of need, yes. But for me, I thought that it was the right thing to do. That was it. And hero seems exaggerated in my opinion. For me, it would be advocator or activist. That would be something that would describe me, because being an activist, being advocator is something who I want to be, is someone who I want to continuously stand up.
What do you think of today's event?
I think today's event was a really important, it was just a very, very important experience for me as well as the other students in the room, to show that as Asian Americans, we have people to look up to, heroes that we can look up to, such as Christina, such as Bryant, who are actively doing their best every day to stand up for their heritage and to make sure that other people are respecting their heritage as well.
This event definitely brought awareness to my own culture, and especially for people around me that don't have this culture but could really learn from this culture. And this also brought awareness to racism as well, which is very important in today's society.
How should other Asian youth stay engaged in fighting for justice for the Asian American communities?
I think being willing to have hard conversations and calling out people that you like or love, such as friends and family or school teachers, on microaggressions or other comments is very important to stay engaged in the fight for social justice.
I guess you could just do small acts of activism, as Luke said, and also just be a good person so that people don't see you just as the stereotypes say so.
Additionally, to support the Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Heritage Month, MLCCC students and families attended many activities, including the 2021 One Community, Diverse Voices virtual celebration and sponsored by the Pennsylvania Governor's Advisory Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs and cycling rides to commemorate Henry Air Foon, allegedly the first Chinese American born in Boston, an avid biker who pushed for racial equality and was elected president of the local bike club in Massachusetts in 1897.
We're facing in this city and around our country.
As Philadelphia Council members David O. said at May 2, 2021 rally, one of the ways we can address all issues we're facing in this city around our country is through education, community, and then finding ways to work with each other. The MLCCC community will continue to support AAPI heritage, contributing to AAPI initiatives, and stand up and speak up against AAPI hate.